Dear hair, our relationship has been like a roller coaster. I have neglected you, I have disregarded you, and I've been disrespectful to you, and at one point I even hated you. You didn't fit in. You made me feel uncomfortable, and I wanted you to be different. I wanted you to be like everyone else's hair. I wanted you to be straight, not curly. Today, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for sticking around and being rooted into my head after all the attempts I made to change you, and you still managed to persevere and stand tall. Forgive me for the times I changed your natural texture to conform, for the times I was ashamed of you, and for the times I always felt like I needed to cover you up with weaves, wigs, and braids. Today, I have learned to accept you, respect you, and love you, for you are a part of me, a part of my identity. You are unique, you are spontaneous, you defy gravity, and you are beautiful. And together, we're simply a masterpiece. With love, Vani. Hey friends, and welcome to my channel. I'm really happy that you guys are here. Today I wanted to talk about my journey to loving and accepting my hair, and I'm hoping that this video will be something that will inspire somebody else to love and accept and just embrace their natural hair. And this video is not to bash anyone who isn't rocking their natural hair, because I know that this journey is individual, and of course you choose to do whatever it is that you want to do with your hair, and there isn't a rule of what's right and what's wrong. But I'm just simply sharing my journey when it comes to accepting my natural hair, and I'm hoping that you guys are going to enjoy this. So my hair and I, we have come a long way. I'm 32 years old today, and I really just embarked on the journey of loving my hair about 8 years ago when I was 24 years old. Everything before that, I would say that I definitely was in a war with myself and completely neglected my hair. For Black women, hair is often not just hair. Hair is a topic that can spark a passionate debate and can also be a very sensitive topic. But when it comes to hair and Black women, hair is a part of our cultural identity. And the history behind Black hair has been coined with social oppression, racial discrimination, and really internalized self-hate in many remarks. A lot of the internalized self-hate, of course, is what I would say post-colonial trauma. Like it has come with post-colonial trauma. Black women, we all have our own individual hair journey. So just because I'm talking about my hair journey doesn't mean that every single Black woman has the exact same experience, because I think that this is based upon the experience you've had in life, where you're from, and what culture that you also have, and which part of the world that you're living in also. So you can imagine that probably we all have our issues, but for me, growing up as a Black girl in a very white country such as Sweden in Europe, things will be a bit different. So yeah, I just wanted to, I think that I'm gonna have to split this hair journey in 4 different parts. The first part will be my childhood, the second part will be my teens, the third part will be my early 20s, and the fourth part will be about today, where I'm at in my hair journey today. So I'm gonna start off by tapping into my childhood. So I can honestly tell you guys that as a child, I hated my hair. And that's the honest truth. I hated my hair. And I can tell you that I was taught to love the color of my skin, and I was taught to be proud of the culture where I was from. But when I think about it, I feel like I wasn't really taught how to love my hair. As a child, I just remember that it was important to look presentable, that my hair was always in some sort of style. And you know, the style would usually be braids, of course. That was like the only acceptable hairstyle for me to have at that time, according to my parents. So I wouldn't really have my hair out in a fro or anything like that. I would always have cornrows, and when I got a little bit older, then I would braid my hair with extensions and so on. So when I realized that I wasn't taught how to love my hair, I was like, that's kind of weird. But I think that has a correlation, like I think that has to do with the way that my mom and my aunts navigated. They often talked about our natural hair texture as something negative, and in my native language of Creole, I heard my aunts and my mom say cabello riso, which means hard hair. And I believe that saying that we had hard hair was saying like we had bad hair. So if it was soft, it would be good. If it was hard or more textured or more coily or more kinky, then that would be a negative thing. I found that to be quite interesting, the way that they would talk about our hair, and sometimes they would say things such as like, why did God give us this hair? It was like our hair was some kind of punishment. Hey. Well, imagine hearing that throughout your childhood. You would automatically assume that there was something wrong with your hair, right? So growing up, I feel like I wasn't really taught to take care of my hair, and I feel like my mom and them didn't really do that either. Looking back at the pictures when I was like 1, 2, or 3 years old, I did see my mom and my aunts wear a lot of froze and like have their natural hair out. But the older I got, I felt like my mom and my aunt started to conforming more to a Eurocentric look, wearing wigs. Yeah, wearing wigs and perming their hair, and you know, having different types of hairstyles. So like, I just believe that they were conforming as much as they could to society. So I can't really say that I know for sure that my mom and my aunts disliked their hair, but just looking back at how they navigated, this is the feeling that I get. But I actually think that this is a conversation that I'm gonna have with my mom, and just talk about this thing with hair and stuff like that. I think it's a really interesting conversation that should be had. So also another thing, like growing up in Sweden, in Europe, and having my hair texture, I barely saw anyone on TV with my hair texture. So there was absolutely like no representation of afro kinky hair, like 4C hair. I did not see any of that. And I do think that representation plays a really big part in, you know, identifying yourself with other people, and I just didn't. And honestly, just thinking about like my toys and stuff like that, I basically only had white dolls with blonde hair, and they looked nothing like me. They looked absolutely nothing like me. And I remember having this doll, like it was like a half doll, and I used to do her hair, and her hair was straight and blonde, and I loved doing her hair because I thought it was a fun thing to do. So I think a lot of those things also impacted me. And there's this story that my mom used to tell me about when I was a kid. I believe I was like 3 or 4 years old. Whenever I would see like an ad on TV of like a shampoo ad of a white woman like flicking her hair, I would go into the bathroom and get a towel and put that over my head, and then, you know, flick my towel that was my hair the same way. And looking back at it, I think it's quite sad. Like it's crazy. I remember even putting like a bun into that and like pretending that I had hang time with this towel, and that was my hair, and that it was straight. So at a very early age, I didn't even appreciate the hair that was on my head. I just wanted my hair to be straight. So that was like a really big part of my childhood. And yeah, it's kind of sad when I think about it. And for me, it's even more important, like, okay, my daughter, she's mixed, but she still has curly hair. And in some instances, she will have a privilege over a little girl that looks exactly like me. But I never want her to feel inadequate. I never want her to feel like her hair isn't beautiful or that there's something wrong with it. I just want to encourage her. And for me, tapping into this part of myself and healing this part of myself, I believe will be a part in, you know, making sure that she's secure in what she looks like, because I'm her role model, right? Or I believe I'm going to be her role model as her mom. So if I feel insecure about my hair, what will that tell my daughter if I put on a wig every single day? So yeah, I think it's really important to tap into these things once you become a parent, because you want to lead by example and not just say things. You want to actually act upon those things as well. So tapping into my teenage years, I can honestly just say that my teenage years was only about conforming. And from the time I was, I believe, 13, I got my first relaxer, and I was really happy that my hair was straight. And after that, I just went on, you know, the journey of wearing weaves and braids, back to back throughout most of my teens, to be honest. So I did not have a care in the world for my natural hair. My goal was always to make sure that my hair was fixed. And when I say that my hair was fixed, my hair would be in weaves or braids. That's what my teenage years was all about. Total neglect of my own hair. And I would never want to walk out of the house with my hair undone, meaning that I would never leave the house unless I had my hair fixed. And if I was on my way to an on to get my hair fixed, you would never see me out in my fro. I barely think that I looked at myself in the mirror with my fro. Like, I just didn't care for my hair at all. Not at all. So when I got into my early 20s, I perfected my skills in doing hair. I loved doing hair, and I still love doing hair. And I happened to be really good at doing weaves and braiding hair and cornrowing hair and all of that. So in my early 20s, I was perfecting my hair skills a lot. So I was wearing even more weaves and, you know, trying to keep up with the latest styles of wearing weaves. Eventually, I actually tapped into wearing wigs to protect my natural hair from all of the heat that I was using to blend my natural hair with the weaves. But then when I went to England and started studying, I finally started to question myself. So in my mid-20s, I would say, that's when I started on my hair journey. The road from 24 years old until today has been quite rocky. I've big chopped my hair about 3 times, I believe. And the first time that I big chopped my hair, I wanted to prove to myself that I was confident, and that the confidence didn't come from all of the layers that I was putting on myself, meaning the weaves and the wigs and the makeup. I just wanted to prove to myself that the confidence that I exuded was something that came from within. So that's why I chopped my hair off. And I also did it because I was inspired by my friend Rosanna that studied as well. And you know, guys, I actually have a story of I actually have a video of my second big chop and even my third big chop, and I will put a card above so that you guys can watch that video, because there I explain more about why I big chopped the first time. So I'm not going to talk about it here since I've already talked about it before. But you know, once I did big chop when I was in England. I big chopped, and for 3 months I wasn't wearing anything else but my natural hair. So I was basically I felt like after those 3 months I had proved to myself that, okay, you know, I can be raw, I could just be myself, I don't need to wear makeup, I don't need to have any weaves or wigs, I could just fully be myself. So that's what I did for 3 months. But after 3 months, when I started to see that my hair was growing back, I still felt the necessity to wear braids again. So I was going back to what I was comfortable with, because I mean, I had already done my deed. 3 months, no wigs. Okay, I'm Gucci. I'm confident, that's fine. I feel like I went back to wearing braids again, and I did so back to back for, you know, a very long time. And I think I did that because I wasn't really that as comfortable as I wanted to be. The intention behind it was to be comfortable and not care about what other people would think. But I started to feel insecure. I started to feel like people would find me as less attractive, and I was basically just thinking about what other people would think about me. And at this time, imagine, I had moved to England to study, so I wasn't really in my natural habitat. I wasn't in Sweden. So, you know, sometimes when you travel abroad, you feel like you can be another version of yourself. But I think that for me, the big fear was actually to truly be my raw self when I came back home to Sweden. And I think that I wasn't really ready to face that. So I just went back to, you know, wearing wigs and weaves on and off, chopping my hair off, but I would wear weaves and wigs more than I would wear my natural hair out. So that brings me to today. Things really started to take a turn for me the day that I became a mom. And even in the process of becoming a mom, when I was pregnant with my son, things started to change. I believe becoming a mom sparked a lot of thoughts, of course, like it would for any person, but it sparked a lot of thoughts about myself and what kind of role model that I wanted to be for my children. And little by little, I started to uncover things about myself that I hadn't really tapped into before. I hadn't really dealt with self-love in all of the areas of my life. And this was one of the areas of my life where I felt like I really needed to work on it. And I said that I wanted to be a mom that was proud of herself, a mom that was confident, and I wanted my kids to be that as well. And as I mentioned before, like if I want my kids to be confident and love themselves, then I need to do the same thing as well. And when I was pregnant with Aaliyah and I knew that it was a girl, I felt like it was even more important for me to really tap into this self-love and, you know, work on all of the layers that I had put on my face and my head for such a long time. And I was like, okay, if I wear makeup every single day and she grows up and she sees me put on makeup every single day when I walk out of the house, then she will think that as a woman, that is what you need to be doing. Like it's necessary for you to put on makeup before you leave the house. And I was like, that's not really what I want to teach her. I want to teach her to be comfortable in her own skin. So little by little, I started to wear less makeup, not because I think that makeup is a bad thing. I think makeup is a fun thing, but I still felt like I needed to really just work on being comfortable with being myself. Like I would never leave the house before without you know, filling in my eyebrows. I would never leave the house without putting on a wig, like not even when I would go to the store. Like that's how much I felt like I needed to really just work on those parts. When I also didn't want my daughter to feel like it's a necessity to wear wigs whenever you leave the house, because I think that it would signal that something was wrong with the way that my hair looked. And I didn't want her to feel like she has to do all of these things in order for people to accept her outside of the house. So that's what I started working on, also wearing wigs a lot less. And actually there was a time I felt like I couldn't even identify with the wigs that I was wearing. That was something that happened to me last year. So I stopped wearing those straight wigs that I was wearing, and I felt more in tune with wearing my more natural hairstyles, such as braids and cornrows and twists and, you know, other types of protective natural hairstyles as well. But then I was like, okay, I'm wearing a lot of protective styles, and also I usually do my hair myself, and it would take me around 8 hours to do my hair if I would just sit in one go and then just look at TV and like take breaks in between and eat. But as I became a mom, I just didn't have the same amount of time to be doing my hair. I mean, from going from 8 hours of like braiding my hair, it would now take me 3 days to finish my hair. And that was just so stressful. I'm sorry guys, my daughter is sick. So she's sitting here in my lap. So I just felt like it was just so stressful to get my hair done and extremely time consuming. And as a parent, like I don't want to spend my whole entire like day trying to fix my hair. And I actually remember telling my husband that by the time I'm 35 years old, I don't want to be wearing wigs and protective styles every single day. I want them to be a fun thing and something that I wear every now and then because I want to switch up my style. And I'm happy that I have a husband that is really supportive and has always encouraged me to just wear my natural hair and not, you know, constantly think about wearing wigs. That has also been a part of, you know, making me feel even more comfortable with just being myself really without any of those other layers. So with my hair being extremely time consuming, I also thought about a lot of other things. I started to feel like my hair was limiting me to do certain things. And as a mom today and as a person that is quite active, you know, I didn't want to be wearing wigs when I was at the gym, like sweating. And I didn't also want to be the type of mom who wouldn't want to swim because I had just gotten my hair done. Like, I did not want my hair to limit me in any way, shape, or form. So that is something that that made me also think about just doing something simple for my hair. I did think that having my natural hair out was quite time consuming as well. But a year ago, I started to watch a lot of lock videos. I watched those lock videos for over a year, and I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna lock my hair. But the problem was I was still recovering from postpartum hair shedding on my edges. So I decided to just wait, but I am now like 4 months locked, and I'm really happy that I've locked my hair. Är du arg?
Ja.
Okej. Kan du säga I'm angry? Kan du säga I'm angry? Är du färdig nu? Jacka varsågod. Tack. So now that I'm here, I'm on my lock journey. I'm really happy that I've gotten this far when it comes to my hair journey. I can honestly say that for the past 2 months, I haven't worn anything on my head when I leave the house to go to work. I've just gone to work with my hair like this, or just I've just been myself really, and it's been really liberating and extremely freeing to get to this part of my life. I never thought that I was gonna get here, but I'm 32 years old today, and I'm happy that I have gotten this far. And I think that my kids have really pushed me to work on myself and to love myself. And I feel like it's really important for me to do that in order for me to become the best version of myself for me, but also a great mom to my children. So I really owe it to them. And I'm happy that I have a supportive husband that is always there for me and always, you know, pushes me to just be genuine and just be myself. And it's really important to have that support system as well. And I'm hoping that in the future, as we are healing, our children will not have to go through the exact same things as we have. Because when we stand secure, and when we stand and we're secure in ourselves, that's the kind of energy that we will transfer to them as well. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope that this video will be inspiring to someone. And if you're out there struggling with your hair, don't worry. I think you're gonna get through your own journey at your own pace and at your own time. And again, this video is not to bash anyone that isn't wearing their hair natural. Like, you can do whatever it is that you want to do. Of course, it's your choice. So there's really no judgment in that at all. But this was just my journey, and I hope that you guys are embracing and just loving yourselves, and just knowing that you guys are good enough just the way that you are beautiful just the way that you are, and that you're unique. And that's it for this video, guys. Okay, and that's it for the video, guys. I hope that you all are doing well, and remember, let's evolve and let's heal and let's just grow together. Life is short, and yeah, just take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching this video. Bye.